Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the full moon reading, the November full moon reading for the sign of Sagittarius. For those of you who are regulars at my channel, you're going to see that this is a little bit of a different setup. I'm not in my usual location, but nevertheless I want to get this reading out for you. And so Sagittarius, it's all about you, right? So this full moon is going to be happening on November 12th. And the full moon is actually in Taurus. Now, I am a Sagittarius sun and I have a Taurus rising. And so this reading is going to be interesting for me. But for those of you out there, it really can be Sagittarius placements in any place, you know, sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Mars, right? And of course, if you are a Sagittarius and you do have a Taurus in your natal chart somewhere, that's going to be an interesting aspect to the full moon as well for you. All right, guys, so let's, first of all, we're going to start off and get out an animal spirit for this full moon time. Now, we are in the waxing period of the moon, which is the time as the moon starts to grow. It's waxing, it's getting bigger, and it becomes full. And then as soon as it is full, it starts to wane. It starts to pull back and disappear and go into the new moon. And it's the waxing period where we start to feel the energies heighten, right? And the full moon is a period where you know, there are a lot of energies that are, not only are they heightened, but different energies become available to us for the purpose of taking steps towards an achievement or accomplishment or a goal or an objective, right? It's during the full moon time that we go out in the world and we take action. It's during the new moon that we contemplate, we pull back, and we begin to set plans and get plans, ideas formalized, etc. Sow seeds, right? So we sow seeds during the new moon and we begin to harvest, and we begin to work on growing those seeds and harvesting what we can from the growth during the full moon. All right, guys, so Sagittarius, let's get right into your spread. I'm going to pull out your animal spirit. And of course, we have the eagle. Beautiful, strong energy, right? Let me just make sure my camera is focusing. All right. So, the eagle. Let's get right into the eagle quickly. The eagle is a beautiful, strong card, right? It is air element. And the eagle is it's one of the strongest cards for spiritual strength and physical strength, right? The eagle is the great truth seeker, right? Its objective is to seek out the truth in any situation, to move forward with action, right? The eagle comes in to really clarify, to get to the heart of a matter. It's very strong, sort of focused, goal-orientated energy, and certainly associated with air, which is the mind and communication. So right now, your mind is single focus. You have a laser beam sort of focus right now on a particular objective, right? And this is the energy of the eagle. So let's go ahead and get into your card spread. Also, the eagle is a master in the area of water and air, okay? So, in a lot of ways, it's the emotional mastery as well of the eagle. Very strong apex sort of animal. But in anything, more than anything, it is the laser focus of the eagle that achieves huge things. Huge accomplishments come when the eagle has its eye on the objective, right? All right, so when we say soar like an eagle, right? The heights to which the eagle is willing to go to achieve something is very great. All right, Sagittarius, we're going to do one more shuffle. And then we're going to get right into your simplified Celtic spread for this full moon period. This is, of course, the beautiful creatures deck, which I like to use for my specialized readings, like my lunar readings. And let's see. Straight out the gate, we have 6 of Cups. Beautiful energy. Memories, fondness. Six of Cups is, of course, a strong soulmate energy, love connection, covered by the Eight of Pentacles. So putting in practice, putting in work. In your head, you have contentment with the Ten of Cups, Sagittarius. And in the back of your mind, you have a Seven of Swords. All right. You come into the month with another Seven of Wands. And a Page of Pentacles is how you end the month. Pull this out. This is your cross energy, right? And when I say not the month so much, the full moon period, excuse me, you come into the full moon period, the waxing of the full moon period, and you come out of it with a Page of Pentacles. These energies can also reverberate, right? So this Seven of Wands could have been coming in since the new moon of last month, and this Page of Pentacles can reverberate out into the full moon of next month. All right. All right. So this is your spread for the full moon, Sagittarius. Let's go ahead and get right into it. You, of course, have at the center covered by, you have Six of Cups at the center covered by Eight of Pentacles. So right now your focus is really building a relationship. You are building memories, right? Six of Cups talks about memories because oftentimes it indicates a relationship that you have had for a long time, right? This is one of the reasons why Six of Cups can also indicate a soulmate connection, because oftentimes this is a connection, an emotional connection that you have with someone for a while, that you have various memories that you've built up with this person, good and difficult, right? And so it really speaks to the longevity of a relationship. It also speaks to the overall harmony of a relationship, because six, of course, is the number for harmony and working towards harmony. And again, is another reason why we oftentimes consider Six of Cups a soulmate card, because it is the journey towards harmony that soulmates have with each other. It's a journey, right? They aren't always perfect for each other all the time. There are ups and downs. Now, you're covered with this energy with the Eight of Pentacles, which seems to indicate that a lot of you are really disciplining yourself in the area of work. You're very, very single-minded right now in trying to accomplish something in your career or your financial area. And it's quite interesting because it almost seems as though this full moon period is a period where your relationships are, you have a strong relationship, a strong connection with somebody, yet at the same time, you are working very hard, right? You're working very hard on your career goals this period. And so it's a very nice emotional and practical period. Again, ego energy is very strong with water and air, but also in terms of achieving and manifesting in the material world. So in this way, the ego is very much associated with Eight of Pentacles in the way that you're single-minded, you're focused, you're wanting to work, to discipline yourself, really to knuckle down and get something accomplished in this area. So it also in the area of emotions, where the cups are ruled, the water aspect, we talk about deepening the connection. Also having a single-minded focus in that area too, to achieve a particular goal. Now you come into this full moon period with a conscious idea of contentment, Ten of Cups, but interestingly enough, in the back of your head, there is a Seven of Swords. So it seems to indicate that for some of you, Sagittarius, you do have, and I'm going to come back to this because this is clarified now with these two cards a little bit. You have a relationship that you're very contented and happy with, yet there is a sense of futility there. There is something that you feel like it's just futile. It could very well be that you do have a love connection with somebody, but in some way the communication seems to be a little bit off. You love them, you have a great sort of connection with them. It's a contented connection, Ten of Cups on the surface, in the front of your mind, in the conscious area, but somewhere in the back of your mind there seems to be a feeling of, I can't talk to them. I can't, some of the things I try to do with regard to communication, right? And some of the plans I have, I can't, it feels like they're not working. Seven of Swords is the card for futility, right? It's my Hare and the Tortoise card. And oftentimes Seven of Swords talks about, and that story of the hare and the tortoise, if you don't know it, it's the race between the the two animals. And ultimately, the hare never really puts real effort into it because he assumes that he's the winner. He automatically assumes he's the winner, and so he forgets that he has to put effort into things, and so he puts a very half-hearted foot forward, and none of the efforts that he takes to win the race work. And so in this way, the Seven of Swords is the card for futility, but it's also because he really doesn't put much effort into it. The tactics that he uses are kind of underhanded. They're cheating. He tries to, like, you know, at one point ride a bike while the tortoise is methodically just walking his pace, but ultimately he wins the race. He wins the race because the hare is just not that committed to doing the right thing. And everything that he does doesn't work. And so in this way, one of the aspects here with Seven of Swords is also that, are you really trying? Perhaps you're giving up, right? Sagittarius, you guys do have a tendency that when you're fed up, you kind of just are fed up. You don't put any more effort into it. And it could be very well be that in an area where there is some communication issues, you may have to just make more of a strong effort, even if you think it will be futile, even if you think it's not going to work. It's interesting, and I'm going to come back to the Six of Cups and Eight of Pentacles. It's almost as if you do have this love connection and you do feel contented, but Seven of Swords is there, and for some of you Sagittarius, you're throwing yourself into your work in an effort to avoid this feeling here. Because you know that this feeling here may impact how contented you are in this relationship. If you can't communicate with them effectively, or if you feel like some of the things you're doing to try to make the relationship deeper are just futile and not working, then you're going to start to pull away. And a lot of you, I think, are going headlong into your work with this Eight of Pentacles, because Eight of Pentacles is also really being like a workaholic in a way, right? So oftentimes that can be an aspect too. Now, Taurus is a strong worker, and it could be that Taurus aspect, right? This full moon in Taurus is affecting you in this way, in the sense that where you are feeling futile here in your relationship, you're getting satisfaction from your work. Excuse me, I still have a cold, so I have to sniffle. Seven of Wands and Page of Pentacles. Seven of Wands, you come into this period feeling really strong, but you feel as though you have a lot of obstacles that are facing you, and they're really kind of like, I'm not going to say they're overwhelming, but you feel very much like a David and Goliath scenario right now, Sagittarius. You're feeling like, you know, it's you against the world, and Seven of Wands really talks about being brave, you know, and what is bravery? Bravery is having fear, maybe even having anxiety, but continuing to push forward and continuing to make an effort. And I'm going to say with Seven of Wands, Page Sagittarius, I think this energy more than anything is to do with your work and your career, because this Eight of Pentacles that's covering everything this full moon period is about diligently working towards an objective. It's almost the polar opposite to Seven of Swords, right? And so Seven of Wands, again, also being something, 7 is the number for hopes and dreams. This is very important to you. Whatever it is that you are having to show bravery in, and pushing forward and strength and coming up with solutions to obstacles as they show up. It's an endeavor that's very close to your heart, that you feel very passionate about, Sagittarius. And so in this way, I want to say this is about a project that you are doing, if you're an artist, or a work endeavor, a business endeavor. Page of Pentacles is how you end this period off, and Page of Pentacles is very, very practical. Right? And so you end this period, this full moon period, coming out with a sense of real reliability and practicality. You understand what you need to do. You know, it's a period of really sort of like, I'm going to say for some of you, rewards begin to come in, but it doesn't feel so much like an uphill battle. It begins to turn into like a good routine, a working routine. Whatever this is here that you had to establish, this Seven of Wands, right, becomes a good routine towards the end of this full moon period, and you're able to rely on this system that you've put in place. You're able to rely on certain things. It could be that you've been working on a business adventure or a career adventure that up until now has been quite speculative. It has been quite, you know, has been a case of really sort of hoping it works, believing in yourself. But now, I think by the end of this full moon period, you begin to be able to rely a little bit on this endeavor working. You begin to sort of really feel, it's like here with Seven of Wands, you're working out the kinks, especially if you have a business. For instance, it might be working out how to do advertising, how to do this or how to do that, And then by the end of this period, Page of Pentacles, it begins to be more like a well-oiled machine, Sagittarius, right? It begins to work. All of the solutions and ideas that you've put in place begin to sort of really tick over for themselves here. It's really, really nice energy. Certainly where we're talking about a career connection, a financial or a career move, a business move, something like that is going to come out very, very nicely at this end of this full moon period and really begin to tick over. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to call it. This is your full moon reading. It's a mix of some emotional issues with your relationship and a sense of really buckling down in an area of career and finance. With regard to your relationship, this is a nice connection. You have a strong connection here, and there is certainly contentment here, but it's a little bit rocky right now with that Seven of Swords, and I think you're just feeling a little bit sort of at a loss with it in terms of how to deepen the communication. I think it's just going to take a little bit more effort, perhaps, thinking outside the box. You certainly want this, right? It's something you want because it's a 7. 7 is certainly still a dream and aspiration. And so I think it's just taking the time to sort of really find different ways to sort of communicate right now. Having said that, a lot of your focus is also on a business venture or a job concern, a career concern, Sagittarius, and you are certainly putting the work in. You're certainly have the ambition and the passion, and Page of Pentacles certainly indicates that you are going to begin to have some reliable feedback on that front. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit the bell. I do premiere all my videos, and I do upload every single day of the week. So if you want to be there for the premiere, to ask questions or just to chat, that will be very lovely. And indeed, for you to do that, you have to hit that bell so you can be notified. All right, guys, but for right now, thank you so much for stopping by Bow and Arrow Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful full moon, Sagittarius. Bye-bye now.